Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Kathy, and today I'm super excited to talk with one of our former board members and a full-time faculty clinician at Life University, Dr. Paul Blumsack. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Dr. Kathy, thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. My pleasure to have you. Thank you for taking time out because I know you have a super, super busy schedule. Tell me about your day so far today.
So my day started in the practice this morning. We opened up at 8:30. We were there till 11:30 approximately. We had a new patient this morning. We had our existing patients. Then I turn my hat around and then I flip and I head over to Life University and I start my shift normally at 1 o'clock here and I'll go to 7. So it's going to be a busy day. And then my wife's already told me this afternoon, after I leave there, I have to go back to the practice and work on some reported findings for tomorrow. We have 2 reported findings and another new patient coming in. So busy.
I love it. And your wife's running your practice.
Well, she runs the office. She keeps things moving smoothly. Without her, I don't know what I would do. I do not know what I'd do.
You know what? And hopefully you'll never have to find out. And I know that you'll never have to find out because you are truly one of those chiropractors that honors your word and honors what you say. And so many people talk about God, family chiropractic, but some people actually live that way. You know, there's some people that say it, they don't mean it. Dr. Paul, you are one of those people that absolutely embodies the meaning of God, family chiropractic.
Thank you. I had to learn the hard way at first. And then, and sometimes you get sideswiped and then you say, wait a minute, I got to practice what I preach. And that's what we do. We do that every day. It's important. So important.
I love that. I think congruency is the key. When you live congruent with what you say and you do what you say and you say what you do, and you could honestly look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and know that I did my best, I gave my all, I served to my highest capacity, or I served in other areas. You know, for some people at some points in their life, it's not just the practice. It's not just the patient. Sometimes there is a shift and you have to put more energy, more focus into raising kids or helping your children transition into adulthood. And to be able to have that congruency, to know that what you say is what you honestly do, I think that's huge as far as personal success, professional success, and just peace at the end of the day.
Oh, I'd agree. And Paul and I don't know if you know this, but we have 5 children. And so 5 children, 5 different personalities, 5 different lives going on in all kinds of directions. And, you know, we focused on helping them be the best that they could be. And now we're seeing that with our grandchildren. So we're now in a phase where, you know, now it's our children are adults. They're all successful in the things that they're doing. And now we get to have fun with our grandkids and spend time with them when we can. And yes, being congruent is so important, so important. Checks and balances on making sure that happens every day.
You know, you also have lived a life of service, and I want to talk to you about that because service is something that a lot of times in our profession and outside of our profession, people kind of toss that word around, but you have embodied that. You really have been a leader in that department. So talk to us about your early days, what service meant to you and what it means to you now.
Well, I've done it different ways. I served my country when I got out of, actually, I took a year off from high school and decided I was going to go serve my country. I did that. I got married really young. We had children along the way, so I was always working to serve my family in different capacities. And I caught the chiropractic bug, and I knew that was going to change my life. It changed my wife's life. It changed my daughter's life, who's now 36 and has 2 children. And so, you know, just jumping into things and then becoming an associate and then learning through docs that were mentoring me that, you know, you have to give, love, and serve out of your own abundance with no expectation of return, that lasting purpose. And that's always been part of my life in some form or fashion. Even when I was a young child, being part of having to support my family at one time. And so it's ingrained in me to serve, but also, and, you know, getting and then choosing to one day show up at a GCC board meeting and being a volunteer. Nobody asked me. I just showed up. You all welcomed me in, and I volunteered for the longest time. And then, of course, when you show up and you volunteer, they give you things to do. And I became the vendor-sponsored chairperson. And they said, but you can't do anything. We can't promote anything that you're going to want to, we're selling to patients. No. So I had to come up with creative ideas to help the doctors as part of the membership, how they could support the back end of their practice, support their family while serving more patients, more families on the front end. And through that, I was asked to be on a board. Actually, I think after volunteering, somebody asked me to teach CE, and I had never taught CE before. I wasn't at Life University teaching or doing anything like that. I taught CE, and I'm like, okay, you asked, I'll do. And then I became a board member after turning it down once, and saying, no, it's not the right time, because sometimes it's not the right time. And I became a board member and was on the board for a long time. And I show up to events when I can. And when I took on the responsibility of working at Life University, I had to step back in some capacities while also serving as teaching CE in different ways, and showing up to events like you had at your house a couple, like what, 2 months ago with the students, and that, which is amazing. So serving comes in different ways. Sometimes it's showing up, sometimes it's getting involved in doing something, and sometimes it's providing support in other ways. So I just feel like getting involved is so important for our profession, but more importantly, to serve our community, serve Georgia, because every man, woman, and child in Georgia deserves a right to be checked for subluxations. And the GCC is standing on that principle. And the only way to stand on it is to help the docs understand that and support them in any way, fashion. So I've served in different ways throughout my life, and I'll always be called to serve. And who knows what God's got and what direction He has now, because He asked me to serve and work at Life University while also having a practice. So all that in a nutshell, huh?
All that in a nutshell. But you know what? The biggest takeaway from me from that is that you showed up, and at times you don't know what you're showing up for, or you're not invited to show up. Nobody offered, they didn't roll out the red carpet and,
Sure.
trumpets and all that. Sometimes you just have to show up and be willing to be in that place so that you are then in the position to help out. And you don't always need to know how to help out or what you're going to do. Just your presence alone changes the conversation. It's something I say to people all the time. Your presence in the room will change the conversation. And so if you show up, you will create the opportunities that are serving you and help you use your gifts to serve others. So you don't always have to know what the outcome is going to be or how you're going to participate. Just show up, and it will manifest itself in a way that's beneficial to you and to everyone else.
Right. And it goes back to that whole idea is you may have talent, skills, and abilities that could benefit this profession, benefit the members, benefit a patient. And sometimes it's other people that recognize that and go, you know what? We're going to ask you to teach a CE program. Oh, okay. Because someone recognized that. Or we're going to ask you to be part of this. And so it's being able to be visible. We can't help people if we're invisible. So if there's a doc out there going, I don't know why, what I can do for the GCC or why I should be involved, show up and we'll find a way to connect you to what you've been called to do and help utilize your talent, skills, and abilities in a way that can, again, change the health of our community. In this world.
Absolutely, because being able to share your gifts, sometimes you just don't know what they are. So I love that message of just showing up. So let's talk about just showing up, because recently I got to see you on campus at Life University during Life Leadership Weekend this past weekend. We had a lot of great students there, potential students, people that are getting exposed to chiropractic perhaps for their first time.
Sure. Well, I got invited to I'm involved with what I can do. I'm involved at Life in different capacities, but I'm pretty much pigeonholed into the clinic. And when I leave the clinic, I'm in the practice. So I'm not always on the other side, but I got invited to the reception by Dr. LaMarche. And it was great to see people I hadn't seen in a while. It was also connecting with some of the interns I've worked with, where we had a different atmosphere, a different conversation to kind of see where they are, what direction they are heading, and then being able to listen to them and also share some things that I've learned from experience, but also learn from others with more experience than me, and I could pass that on to them. So, again, show up when you can, and help out when you can, share. One of my gifts is power of connection. I might not have an answer, but I probably know someone who can provide that answer. And that's actually what happened on Friday night. I was able to provide some resources for some students who are about to graduate and trying to figure out what to do. And I said, oh, I know this person, talk to them. Oh, why didn't you think about that? Talk to that person. So
That's a huge gift. Being able to connect people is a huge gift because, like you said, you don't always have to know the answers, but if you know how to connect them to someone who does have the answer, that's a
right.
gift. Yeah.
Kind of like doing this, creating it, connecting through an adjustment, right?
Right.
Powerful.
I love it. So let's talk about showing up because I know we've got some great opportunities for people to show up coming up the next month. So next weekend, Friday, August 5th, we have our Friday Night Live, which is going to be on campus in room C127 at Life. So that's Friday night. I know Dr. Wade Port is going to be speaking. He's got a couple of upper quarter students that are speaking as well as some other special guests that are going to be speaking that night. Dr. Blumsack, are you able to make it up there? I know that you're busy, but
I'm on the fence because we're taking an actual vacation next week from everything. And so my serving side says, I want to show up. Why not? I'm on the fence about a seminar this weekend. But sometimes you just got to disconnect to reconnect. And that's what I'm doing. If I'm around, I'll show up.
sharpen the axe.
Yep.
Yep.
That's for sure. And it's at 7 o'clock on Friday night. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm there, if I'm available, I'll show up. I know that your DE's coming up in 3 weeks after that. I'll be there for the whole weekend, which I'm excited about, being able to just sit down and shed some more husks and keep honing in. I like that, iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. And listen, one of the neat things about DE is for a couple of years now, DE's been doing CE before DE, and now they're doing CE during DE. So I love that that transition has been made because it was hard for people to get in earlier and try to get their CE credits before DE started. And now on Friday and Saturday, there's 3 hours, I think, on each of the days. So you see it right there. You get up to 6 hours of continuing ed credit. Get some principal chiropractic CE credits. Why not? We've got some great speakers that are going to be providing that information for you and helping you to get your hours. So just let the DE office know or just reach out to Kat at georgiachiropractic.org. She'll help you get that CE. That is through the GCC. So we're very privileged and honored to be able to offer that at DE. And of course, those of you that are going to be attending DE, you'll see all of, the whole family will be there. So you get to see everybody. That's coming up the weekend of August 11th to 14th. And then don't forget, we've got the big golf tournament coming up. I believe that's September 15th. I know we were trying to shoot for September 18th, but it wasn't a good day to get a golf course. So September 15th, we've got our Chiro Cup. You can register at chirocup.com. And of course, that's going to be at Bridge Mill, which is up here by my office in Canton. It's a beautiful course, beautiful clubhouse. You'll absolutely love it. It's a great day, a lot of fun. I'll be out there helping out as well. I won't be playing, but I'll be helping out. Maybe I'll get to drive one of the golf carts around and have some fun. But we got a lot of great stuff coming up. And like Dr. Paul said, you just got to show up. You got to show up, get around people, shed those husks, get a little bit of that principle rubbed back on you. You need help in your practice. You need help with your conversations. You just need to stay dipped in the philosophy. The best way I know how to do it is to get yourself around the right people.
I'm so glad I showed up so many years ago and people said, welcome. Now, I will tell you, you'll get stretched, but that's how you grow. And I've definitely grown through being involved, and I love serving on the board with you, Kathy, and the whole GCC board, as well as the members. I'm excited about the future of chiropractic. Thank you so much for asking me to be on this call today.
Oh, so much gratitude for you for everything you do, especially for coming on today. But in reality, gratitude for everything you've done for our country, everything you do for your community, everything you do for the students in the future of chiropractic, and of course, everything you've done and continue to do for GCC. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks.
All right. And to everybody watching today, thank you so much for joining us. I know that we've got a couple of the DE speakers who are going to be coming up as our guests on the next few weeks. So keep an eye out because that's always fun. You get people that aren't necessarily in the state of Georgia that are so excited about what's going on here, what we're doing with the GCC, what we stand for, and how we're really doing our best to make sure that principled chiropractic is alive and well and thriving in Georgia. So check us out every Wednesday, 1:30-ish right here for Georgia's Chiro Connection. Thanks, Dr. Paul.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.